Hi everybody, happy Wednesday. We are here.
What's Wednesday?
Wednesday, but it's kind of windy, so I said Wednesday.
Wednesday.
We are here with another Watercolor Warrior art project.
Watercolor Warrior.
So today we are going to do a technique that probably a lot of you have tried before. It's using crayons. And then painting watercolor paint over the crayons to create a crayon resist piece of artwork. And today we're going to be painting fish, and we're going to make the area around our fish, which we are drawing with crayon, look like water, like the ocean or a lake. And we're going to do that by using our watercolor and some plastic bags to create a really cool texture, a really cool look on our paper. So I'm going to show you my example. I've got cute little orange and yellow fishy going on there, and then I've got some nice bright colored water, and you'll see these cool little like white or lighter colored sections. That is that's from the plastic bag that we're going to scrunch on top of our watercolor painting. So we're going to start with a piece of watercolor paper, and I decided to do something today that I used to do a lot when I was teaching in the classroom, and that's I actually cut my paper in half.
What's this, Mom?
When we are doing painting projects, sometimes it's just easier to have a slightly smaller piece of paper, slightly smaller canvas to work with. And in terms of doing our videos, it's going to take us a little less time to fill in the details while we're working. Yes, Cal?
Mama, what's this?
I just put something fun on his head.
Like hair?
Yeah, it could be hair. All right, so we're going to start by talking about the parts of a fish. So you need your piece of paper. For today, watercolor paper is going to work best, but if you don't have that, then certainly try this on cardstock. The texture at the ends with the bag just might not come out as clearly.
How come I have such a small paper?
Because we're going to use smaller paper today. We're going to see how that goes. You need your crayons.
Isn't as small as that?
I cut one piece of paper in half. You get half? I get half.
Oh.
We have our crayons. We have our watercolor paints. We have a glass of water, some brushes in a mixing tray, and then a plastic shopping bag that I cut into a few pieces.
And we have
4 brushes. So we're going to start with our paper. I'll start up here on the easel so that you can see what I'm drawing. And you're going to pick a color crayon for your fish. I think I'm going to use something a little darker. I tried using lighter crayons like yellow and orange for my example back here. And I feel like the yellow, and I used white as well, didn't show up as well as I wanted. So I think I'm going to go a little darker today.
Well.
You think so? I think I'm going to go with green today. I'm going to do a green fish. What do you think? What are you going to do, Calla?
Purple.
All right, and I brought along, and I spy the parts of a fish. So we're going to start with the body of the fish. And the body of the fish is kind of an almond shape, which is one we've talked about in some other projects, where it has a curve on the top and comes not quite to a point, but meets on the side with the bottom, which is an equal curve. Okay?
I did my
Almond
fish
shape.
curve.
You did your fish curve. Awesome. So I'm going to start with that shape. I'm going to do it right in the middle of my page, but I'm going to leave some room on either side so that I can finish the details of my fish on either end. So there's one, and there's the other. For this kind of a project, I'm going to press down with my crayon so that it's pretty dark. I don't want to press so hard that it breaks, but I want to press hard enough that I really have a good solid line of crayon for all the parts of my fish. All right, so let's look at the parts of our fish. We just made the body. Now we need a mouth. So let's pick a side to be his mouth. And we're going to make his mouth right at the point of one side of the fish. And I'm going to give my fish a little smile. What do you think? All right, so we have a mouth, and the next thing we're going to do, and I'm going to switch up my colors a little bit. I'm going to use a few different colors, I think. I'm going to try using, what other color should I use? I'm going to try a lighter green. I'm going to stick with this green theme for part of my fish. Next, I'm going to create the gill. So when we're looking at a fish, the gill is right behind the fish's eye and mouth. And that is where the fish takes in water and pulls out the oxygen. That's how a fish breathes, through its gills. And that kind of curves away from the fish's head right there. So there's a little gill. okay? Next, I'm going to create an eye. I'm going to use purple for the eye. You see where the eye is? It's just above the mouth and in front of the gill. Whoops, that was me holding too hard on my crayon. And I broke it a little bit. All right, so I made a round eye with a half circle in front, towards the front of it, so that it looks like my little fishy is looking forward.
And now are we going to make the fins?
Now we're going to start talking about the fins. Fish have lots of different types of fins, so let's talk about those. We are going to start with this fin that's right behind a fish's gill, and this is called the pectoral fin. It's almost the shape of a triangle, so we're going to start with that.
I did this one, I did my fin.
All right, so I'm going to start right behind the gill and make this pectoral fin. It's kind of rounded on the bottom if you want it to be. I'm going to draw it with a dark green, and then I'm going to use my light green to create some of the lines on the inside. All right, so there's our pectoral fin. Let's look at our I Spy fish again. Let's go up to the top of our fish and create this fin on the back of the fish. This is called the dorsal fin. This one's a little bit longer and a little bit more rectangular shaped. I think I'm gonna go back to my purple crayon here for this part. I'm gonna create, it's almost like a mohawk, if you guys know what a mohawk hairstyle is. Right there, along the top of my fish. I'm gonna go back to using my light green crayon to create the lines, the texture inside of the fin. All right, let's look again. What else have we got there?
More fins.
More fins. We are now going to create the tail. Way back at the end here. And the tail is made up of two fins. And I'm gonna use my purple again. And I would say you could kind of make your tail any shape you'd like, but to me, it looks like two almost triangular shapes.
Mama,
that meet in the middle.
You have these fins too on the bottom.
Oh, we made all the fins, Cal. But I'm gonna make mine a little fancy. I would say do your tail however you would like. I'm gonna make it go out and then kind of curve back in. A little fancy there.
It's like a mermaid tail.
It's kind of like a mermaid tail, and I'm going to go back in like I did with my other fins to create my lines, my texture. All right, there's my fish. If you would like, I'll show you the picture of the parts of the fish again. You can add more of the fins. I don't have them labeled on here. But there are two small fins on the bottom of the fish and another dorsal fin on the back.
On there.
So if you would like, you can add as many fins as your fish has, because this is your
right
own
here,
fish,
Mom.
your imaginary fish. I see that. I think I am going to add that little one on the bottom. I like the look of that. There we go.
And you can even color in your fins, but make sure you still see the lines.
That's very true. And anywhere that you color with crayon, I will let you know, will not absorb the paint. That's what a resist is. So when we paint over our fish with the watercolor paint, it will not stick to the crayon. It will go around the crayon. So that's why it's going to look like the fish is swimming in the water. All right, so we've created the parts of the fish. The last part that we need of the fish is its scales. And the scales are what cover the outside of the fish. It's like its top layer of skin. And they have a really cool texture. And the easiest way that I find to make the texture of scales is to make little curved bumps. And I'm going to make them go away from the head. And I'm going to start them behind the gill. And when I get to the fin, I'm going to stop. So I'm making a little bumpy line there. Let me see if I can move my easel a little closer to you so you can see what I'm drawing here. Try not to spill my water. So I'm going to start at the top and make a little bumpy line. And I'm going to do this all along the body of my fish. There we go. My fish has scales.
I see. Oh.
What do you think?
I don't want these.
You don't want to do this? That's cool. Okay. All right, we are ready for painting. I'm going to put my easel away because I think it would be tricky to paint the watercolor with the easel up.
On my shirt.
You do have Jackson on your shirts. So now we're going to get ready with our plastic bag with our paints, our brush, and our water. And you get to decide what color your water is today. Is it a lake that might be a little brown and green? Is it an ocean that's really blue, maybe even with some purple or some teal, which is like a mix of green and blue? You get to decide what your water looks like. And we're going to do some watercolor washes, which means that we're adding quite a bit of water and watering.
I squirrelies.
Yeah.
No, I didn't do this. It's because look at that.
You weren't a fan of that?
Yeah.
Gotcha. I'm going to start with blue. I'm going to add some water to my paints. And I'm going to transfer it to my page.
How come I'm using this one instead?
You can put paint all over your page, even over your fish. And what we want to do is try to keep the paint fairly wet all over the page so that we can do that cool technique with that plastic bag in a minute. So we use the crayons. So Calla, if you want your fish to show up and not have it cover your crayon, you'll have to use a lot more water. So what's happening with Calla is she got a lot of paint on her brush, and now she's painting her picture. And if she were to paint over the crayon parts with that much paint, then it would cover the crayon. But if you use a lot of water, that's why we're doing watercolor washes, then it will go right around the crayon, and I will show you in just a second. I'm sorry, Calla, I cut your hair. You okay?
Yeah.
All right, I'm going to tilt this down so it's not too drippy here, but you can see that it's really, whoops, sorry. See that it's really wet. There we go.
Accident.
It's very wet. I'm using lots of water, and you can see that you can still really see the crayon that I used to draw my fish.
Did you see my paintbrush?
There we go. All right, so I'm going to finish painting all around my fish, all the way. Today I'm going to go all the way to the edge of my paper. I'm going to use different blues and some purple. And I think on the outside here I might even add a little bit of green. All right.
Mama, if you use a lot of paint, you have to paint around your fish.
Yes, I think that's probably the best plan if you use a lot of paint. So I'm painting all around, all the way to the edge. I forgot to grab my art cloth today, so I'm gonna have to do some cleanup after. Part of the fun of art sometimes is getting a little messy. All right. So now there is paint and water all over my page. It's pretty wet. I see a few spots that are starting to dry, so I'm going to go back in. Oh, Cal, when you get that much paint on, it's a little sticky, huh? Yeah. All right, so it's a little hard to see, so I'm going to tip it down again. My page is really wet. There we go. Got a lot of water and a lot of paint, and that's exactly what we want. Now I'm going to take this plastic bag and I'm going to lay it right on top of my page. You can kind of see through it, and you'll see that the water and paint starts to create little pools in the sections of the plastic bag. And if you want, you can kind of move the bag around. It sticks a bit to your page, which is what we want. You can kind of scrunch it around. See how I'm scrunching it with my fingers? And you'll see that the paint will pool up in different areas. Okay, and the trick now is that we really need to leave it like that because, hang on a minute, there we go, it needs to dry. So I'm not going to be able to show you the final product today like I usually do because I need to let it dry. But right now, this is what your art should look like. You can kind of see your artwork through the plastic bag. You can tell there's color and it's wet. That's exactly what it should look like. And when you're done, when you feel like it's dry, I would give it 5 or 10 minutes maybe. It won't be completely dry, but you should be able to peel the bag off at that point.
I love my
When it's dry, it will turn out like this with a cool texture, and you'll be able to see your little fishy. So thanks for joining us today, guys. We hope you enjoyed creating crayon resist fish. And, oh, Calla, look at that. So cool. Would you like to show yours? Do the bag is off of it?
Okay, I'll put this back on.
So Calla used a little thicker paint. She just scrunched her bag up on her painting paper a little bit so you can kind of see the texture over there. And you see your fish right in the middle. So cool. All right, so have a great day, you guys, and we'll see you back tomorrow. Thanks for joining us. Bye.